Unbelievable though it is, Simon used his argumentative Mr. Nasty persona. His fellow judges played along, and they all peddled pizza.
It's a weak, sloppy, amateurish choice.
Rubbish. I've had 3,000 number ones. I know everything about everything. I'm telling you, it's pepperoni.
Actually, fellas, this week's tip-top topping is margarita.
Vegetarian hot one.
Pepperoni.
No, margarita.
Boys, I got my people to call their people, and we've ordered a brand new Pizza Hut quad. 4 delicious pizzas in one, no arguments. Isn't that right, waitress?
Yes, it's fun to eat up the QUID.
Extra cheese, provided by Simon Cowell, who's always so right on the show and so wrong on the advert. So wooden, very, 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 very wooden. I don't think Sir Ian McKellen would be quaking in his boots, or indeed even Keanu Reeves.
The idea now that, you know, Simon Cowell would agree to go into a Pizza Hut advert with a bad singer, you know, who he'd poured scorn on in the auditions is actually absolutely ludicrous.
The actual pizza advert was shockingly good because she'd made some money out of it, shockingly bad because people who should know better, who didn't need to make the money, Mr. Simon Cowell, were rubbish.
I was so pleased. I did a talent show called Star Search. We had 2,000 acts on it, and nobody failed the audition.
Sky Star Search was a show that promised much and delivered, well, this man, an escapologist who performed under a suitably beguiling stage name.
Number 3, please welcome Robert's World of Magic.
I thought Robert's World of Magic was a fantastic act, and Robert himself was the kind of guy that you might see on Britain's Got Talent these days. And I think you know the sort of bloke I'm talking about. The ones that aren't going to win.
Please check the bag. Check the bag if there's no trapdoors.
The Kid in the Sack is a classic piece of what I think is wrong with all television competitions in that they book amateurs.
Right, get hold of them 2 ropes there. One, grab one by one. Let's start tying.
Spent 3 minutes bouncing around the set.
Robert, do you want a hand? Can you get out?
Tied it too tight.
They tied it too tight. They tied it too... Well, you asked them to tie it tight. That was in your instructions. Tie it as tight as you can. You tied it too tight.
Has anybody got any scissors?
He was the worst magician I have ever seen. He was cack, basically.
Effectively, what he was doing was, for his talent show, was effectively putting on a double duvet. It does take some skill.
Hang on, Robert, hang on, I've got a knife.
OK.
OK, hang on, just a minute. It's better.
But the funny thing was, Robert's World of Magic came back the following week with a guillotine trick and said to a member of the audience, stick your finger in there. And she said, not fucking likely.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the Queen of Royal Reporting, Miss Jenny Bond.
The public, I think, has always thought of me as the royal correspondent, you know, posh bird in a designer suit outside Buckhouse, you know. I always felt I was in a straitjacket, really, as royal correspondent. So I managed to escape, first of all, doing I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and this was my second great escape.
By royal appointment, it's Jenny Bond.
When I was asked to do Stars in Their Eyes, I thought, yeah, you know, adventure, have a go. But my daughter and my husband, in unison, said, don't do it, you can't sing.
And her song choice was less royal correspondent and more raunchy queen of punk pop.
Singing one way or another live, Jenny Bond is Debbie Harry. Suddenly the smoke and the doors opening and this sort of blondie look-alike coming out with the big hair was just amazing.
Wow, what a transformation.
One way or another, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna get you one way.
In our minds, royal correspondents are best friends of the royal family. So to see somebody suddenly, the best and most shocking bit was the Lily Savage hair. So the dark roots. You know, this is perfectly coiffured pearls and twin set Jenny Bond.
I'm gonna get you.
And then she did something that would have shocked even the corgis.
I'm gonna see.
He
said, why don't you kind of straddle the microphone? And I thought, oh, well, all right, why not? So I sort of put my leg over the microphone stand, and I did a bit of a wiggle, because they said do a bit of a wiggle. I didn't know they had a camera behind me. So there's this big red bum swaying around, which, it's quite hilarious, really.
Shaking her booty at the camera. This was a little bit of a shock, not least also because she was the royal reporter. You know, what on earth would the Queen make of this?
And then at the end of the number, they cut away to the audience, and two young boys are looking mortified that they've obviously had an involuntary sexual reaction to this performance, and it's Jenny Bond.
Like the jungle. You went for it.
Naughty Jenny.
As far as I'm pissed off and I'm not happy, okay?
Next, a shocking rock star-style meltdown from a talent contestant who never even made it onto the stage.
It was a moment where I thought, what the hell am I doing? Oh, God, get me out of here.
Reborn in the USA was the show where singers whose days of troubling the pop charts were far behind them toured America to attempt a return visit to Planet Fame. Among their number was this bloke.
Well, when I first arrived at the airport that morning, I was again disappointed because I looked around and thought, well, you know, where are all the celebrities?
Where indeed, because Mark had been in Then Jericho. Here he is in Happier Times, singing their biggest hit, which reached number 13 in the charts in 1989. As he landed in America to start his heady journey back to the top, Mark picked up more than his luggage at the carousel when he discovered the natives were friendly.
So I'll come with you. You say?
I said, do you want to join me?
Yeah, why not?
Perhaps a bit too friendly.
Have some fun, can we? I admit I had been indulging myself in the free bar somewhat, but it seemed like the thing to do at the time. She didn't really appear to have a taxi or any method of getting a taxi. So I said, we'll give you a lift. It's only round the corner.
So Mark's trying to get her on a bus, but Michelle Go really didn't like it.
You're at the airport, the taxi. Who are you?
And Tony Hadley having to step in and say, oh, darling, can I lend you money for a cab?
There's a bit of conflict here, so maybe it might be better if Mark sees you to a taxi rank and gets you a taxi.
Our former famous friends then went for dinner, where Mark's behaviour got even more outrageous, as the fine wine and delicious food came with a side order of vitriol.
Yeah, but you could have come to me and you could have said to me, shush, shush. You shush. I'll bring back a shush here for you. I'd rather eat my own vomit than spend one more day with her.
And he wasn't having any of it. I don't need this. I don't need to be on a show.
I'm going to sell my soul downriver to be hung out with a bunch of second-rate celebrities who couldn't even hold a note if their mother's life depended upon it.
Anyway, went back to the hotel. They put us in the crappiest hotel. The cameraman was still filming Mark being outrageous.
We did say that no one was allowed to come into our bedroom, and they broke that law by sticking a camera through my bedroom window. No. So I wasn't going to have any of that, so I promptly wrestled the cameraman to the floor and dispensed with his camera over the balcony into the swimming pool that was adjacent.
How terribly rock and roll. Then it got even more surreal.
So I got to the hotel, Gina G's crying outside, and then I see a member of my production team and they said, oh my God, Mark's gone mental. He had gone missing. I remember running around this motel, that's with Tony. I whistle this out, Nick.
Really go together, really.
And all I was thinking is, we haven't even been here 8 hours and I've lost a contestant.
And that was the end of the Reborn Road for Mark.
If I'd stuck it out on the programme, I probably would have got as far as the first week, because I'm fairly sure that the castanets of doom were going to clasp down upon me fairly hard.
Next, future Platinum Award-winning singer-songwriter loses Christmas Carol competition shocker.
My claim to fame is I beat Gary Barlow in the Pebble Mill Song for Christmas, 1986. It was a head-to-head between the Cardinal Newman Roman Catholic School and 15-year-old Gary Barlow from Cheshire.
And bells call high and low.
He wrote the track, but his voice sounds amazing. It hasn't changed at all.
Falls all around.
So sweet. And you look at Gary now, who's playing to hundreds of thousands of people, you know, the born performer. There he was, going in for a talent competition.
To rise at the Christmas morn.
Bless him. I mean, who knew that he was going to evolve into such a huge talent? Because there he is wearing a Christmas jumper singing... I have jotted down the lyrics.
Jesus Christ is yours and mine.
Jesus Christ is yours and mine.
Fill the air.
Fill the air with a prayer.
Well done, Gary. 15 years old, what a stunning voice. Gary Barlow, let's pray for Christmas.
And obviously we could see he had special talents and was destined for great things. But we still beat him.
The senior section was won by Cardinal Newman School with Child.
Gary turned to us at the end and said, I don't mind about not winning, he said, because good things will come out of this for all of us. And he was right. I mean, we went back to school with a voucher for W.H. Smith and he went on to earn 10 million.
Still to come, sporting talents.
He was so ashamed of me.
And shocking skating talents.
We just both went, aye.
Welcome back. We've witnessed shock after shock after talent show shock. It's pop stars and a moment that carried a lot of weight. And no, we're not talking about hearsay singing.
While we was living in the house during the Pop Stars show, we've been working very hard. We had a little bit of money in our pocket, obviously. So we went away and we had a Christmas break and we ate turkey and potatoes and drunk wine and beer and did what everyone does at Christmas. But when we came back, Nigel Lithgow called us all into a room and said, very politely, at first, you're all fat, you need to lose some weight.
You need to lose some weight. You are going on show in 6 weeks from now. 6 weeks. And I want you looking the best and feeling the best you can.
Kim took it on her own shoulders like he just directed it at her, but he really was having a go at all of us.
Yes, even Mylene, now famed for her bikini body, was at that moment deemed too large.
Nigel, who was, if you like, the head judge and in charge of the band, you know, he's worked in the business for a long time, and he says it as it is.
And I think his line was, Christmas is over and the goose is still fat.
It's all right saying, oh, Christmas was there and, well, the goose has gotten fat.
Do you think I'm fat?
I think you've put weight on over Christmas, and I think you needed to lose weight before Christmas, yeah.
And then it just erupted.
But I think all this crash diet business, I think that's just silly.
It's out of order.
He was just being honest with her. But it is tough to watch that back. It's tough for someone to tell you that as well.
By him saying that one comment, it kind of upset the whole band for like a month.
There's no need to say it to me.
She locked herself in the bathroom and I'd spent like about 2 or 3 hours trying to talk her around, and I think she was close to leaving that day.
I think Kim was gutted about it, but then, to be fair, it was Christmas and we all had piled on a bit of weight.
I haven't got a weight problem. So I put on a few pounds over Christmas, who doesn't?
And there's this beautiful shot just after when Kim's upstairs going, I don't know why he was picking on me. And right next to her bed, there's a box of roses.
I think All Star Talent Show was the best show Channel 5 have ever made.
The whole premise of the show was that you were going to relearn something that you did as a kid.
But sometimes, even on Channel 5, we see it all go horribly wrong.
I used to do some dancing with my twin sister way back, so I thought it's quite a nice opportunity to go back and see what I can remember and see what I could still do. And it's quite obvious that I couldn't remember very much and I couldn't do very much.